Hi, good morning. Welcome to today's class. I hope I'm audible. I'll keep the video off because I'm facing network issues. Am I audible to you clearly?
Yes,
Okay, fine. See, in the previous class, we were discussing about the concept of circular cube, and we know what actually is a circular cube. It is a cube in which the rear end is immediately followed by the front end. That means the cube is arranged in a circular fashion so that there is no clear distinct differentiation between the front end of the cube and rear end of the cube. So they are attached with each other, and the front end and rear end are usually identified by using the pointers called front and rear. So we have seen the algorithm or procedure for inserting an element onto the stack. And as I said in the previous class, here for this algorithm in the insertion at step number 7, immediately after setting rear to 0, you have to include one statement here saying that go to step number 9. Here there is a this step needs to be, what I feel is this step needs to be added in step number 7. You have to go to step number 9 because after setting rear to 0, here you are not supposed to increment it once again, right? So now let us see the procedure to delete some elements from the circular linked list. So before we delete as well, what we know is we have to check whether the circular queue is already empty, because if circular queue is already empty, we cannot delete the elements from the circular queue. If the circular queue is not empty, what we can do is then you take the element which you are trying to delete and store it in a temporary variable Then we, after storing the element which you are deleting, then you have to update the front pointer because we are deleting the elements from the front end of the queue. So there are three scenarios with which we update the front pointer. So if the queue has one element left, that means you are trying to delete element from the queue which is having only one element. If there is only one element in the circular queue, then simply what we do, we set front and rear to 0 or null. Why? Because if there is only one element in the circular queue and if you delete that element, then there will be no elements left in the circular queue. That is one case. In the second possible case is if front is pointing at the last location, that is front is pointing to the last element in the circular queue or to the last location of the circular queue, then you have to make front to point back to the first element or first location in the circular queue, because the last location and first location of the circular queue, they are pointed or they are attached to each other. If the pointer is pointing at the last location, you have to bring it back to the first location. That is one possibility. Another possibility is the default possibility. What is that? If none of the cases are existing, then simply increment the front by 1. Simply increment the front by 1. This is default thing what we do as in case of linear queue. Then simply in step 4, we return the element which we have retrieved from the front end of the circular queue. Now let us see the algorithm for deleting elements from the circular queue. Right? So this is the algorithm for deleting elements from the circular queue. So let us assume which circle, whichever we have considered for our discussion. Let us take the same circular queue. So I will take this circular queue. Front is pointing to index 0 and rear is pointing to index 4, and there are 5 elements in the circular queue. That is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So let us take the same example which we took for insertion while discussing the insertion of elements onto the circular queue. All right. So I'll first try to draw that same circular queue here. Index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can draw it in whatever way you want. Like which one we are considering? This one 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? At index 0, we have element 10. At 1, we have 20, 30, 40, and 50. Right? This is what is the available circular queue. And in this, front is pointing to index 0 and rear is pointing to index 4. This is what the circular queue we have in our hand now. We have to implement, we have to check the algorithm for deletion of an element. We know that always we delete the element from front end of the circular queue. We are using front end for deletion of element from the circular queue. Before you delete any of the element from the circular queue, what you have to do? We have to check whether circular queue is empty. How do you check? If front is equal to null. If front is equal to null, what it indicates? Circular queue is empty. If front is equal to null, we'll go to step 3. What happens in step 3? In step 3, we are simply displaying a message saying that circular queue is empty. One second. Right? If front is equal to null, then circular queue is empty. We'll simply print this message. Else part. In our case, what it is, front is not equal to null because front is pointing to some index called 0. It is not equal to null. Then else part is true. What we do, we'll go to step number 4. In step number 4, what we do, we simply obtain that element. Take a temporary variable called I. There you obtain the element that is at the front index of this particular queue. So for this, our entire queue, the name being assumed here is in this algorithm is queue. This is what is name given for that. At the queue, at the front index, where front is pointing to 0. Q of 0 is what? This Q of 0. 0 is 10. 10 is stored. We'll obtain 10 and store it in a variable called I. Because we will use it later to returning back to the caller. We'll use it later to return back to the caller. Now, whenever you obtain this element, it is possible that there is only one element present in the circular queue. It is possible that there is only one element present in the circular queue. So if there is only one element present in the circular queue, what happens? If you delete that only one element, so assume this is the entire circular queue and there is only one element left, that is 10. If you delete this 10, what happens? Then the circular queue becomes empty. There will be no elements left in the circular queue. That we have to check. That condition also we are checking. In step number 5, what we are checking? Whether front is equal to rear, because if there is only one element, front and rear both will be pointing to the same element. In this case, what is happening? Front is pointing to 10 and rear is also pointing to the same element because there is only one element. If that is the case, if this is the case, what we do, we go to step 6. What is happening in step 6? Front is being set and rear is being set to null. Both are being set to null because once series and single element, which if you delete that, then the entire circular queue will become empty. We'll set it to null. Else part. In our case, it is else. That means we have to go to step number 8. What happens in the step number 8? So we have to check one more condition. If there is only one element, step number 8, what we check? Whether front is pointing to max minus 1. Because if front is pointing to the last location, you have to bring it back to the first location. You have to bring it back to the first location. Is it true in this case? Is front is pointing to max minus 1. What is max? Max is 5. That is maximum possible capacity of this queue is 5. His front is pointing to 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. His front is pointing to index 4. No, front is pointing to index 0. This is false. That means we have to go to step number 11. So what we do in step number 11, simply we increment front and make it front to point to the next index. because anyhow we are returning it in the next step. What we do, we increment front and make it to point to the next index. Front has been incremented. And similarly, in the next step, what we do, step number 12, return the deleted element back to the caller. We are returning the deleted element back to the caller. And just for completeness, as front is pointing to this location, this I will erase. For simulation of that, it is like element has been deleted successfully from the front end of the circular queue. We have deleted one element successfully from the front end of the circular queue. So let us check the algorithm once again. Let us delete one more element from the circular queue. Whether check in the step 2 whether front is equal to null. No, front is not equal to null. It is pointing to index 1. That means we'll go to step number 4. So in step number 4, what we do, take the front element, that is element located at the front end of the circular queue, obtain it and store it in a variable called I. Store it in a variable called I. That means what value I will have now? I will have a value of 20 because 20 is present at the front index. Now you should check one more condition. What is that? Is it the only element present? That means is front and rear both are equal. They will be equal only when there is only one element. If both are pointing to the same element. That is not in this case. We will go to else part. Step number 8. Again check in the step number 8. Is front is pointing to max minus 1. That means is it pointing to the last location of the circular queue? Is it pointing to the last location of the circular queue? This will occur only when you go on deleting all the elements when front is pointing here. Then when front is pointing here, if you have inserted some more elements, then rear will be pointing somewhere here because they are rotating in nature. Front and rear both are rotating continuously. This is false in this case. Then we'll go to step number 11. So what you are doing in step number 11, simply increment the front to 1. That is simply advance front and make it to point to next index. Advance front and make it to point to next index. So what we have done, we have deleted element index 1. Element 20 has been deleted and this will be returned to the caller. So what we are doing, this we are returning it to the caller in step number 12. Right? So likewise, we assume in this scenario, I'll do some more insertions for completeness of this. What I'll do, let us increase rear. I'll increment the rear because there is still space available. I'll make rear to point here and insert one element called 60 because I need to explain the complete algorithm. I'll insert the element called 60 here. So once again, I will increment the rear and insert one more element called 70. So we have arrived at some scenario now. We have arrived at this particular scenario in the circular queue because front and rear are pointing attached to each other. It is possible. If there is space available, you can increment the rear and insert some more element. Right? Now, with this particular scenario, if you want to delete one more element, we will follow this procedure and it is possible to delete this. Front will come and point to this index. When you delete 30, when I delete 30. Now in this scenario, I think I need not explain that stuff because it is understood. Okay, I'll explain this case. When front is pointing to index 3, you want to delete one more element. Let us follow the algorithm. Is front is pointing to null? No. That means we'll go to step 4. In step 4, what we do? Take a temporary variable I. There you obtain the element stored at the front index. What is Q of front? Q of front, that is front is 3. Q of 3 is what? 40. 40 is stored in variable I, that will be returned to the caller. Now is it the only element? That is front is equal to rear? No. That means we'll go to step 8. In step 8 check, is front is equal to max minus 1? No, that is also false. I'll explain this later in the next iteration. Max minus 1, no, it is false. Then we'll go to step 11. In step 11, what we do? Increment front. Simply take this front and make it to point to the next index and return this element to the caller. Now this is where we can check that one typical condition in this scenario. I just took some iterations to explain you how we come to such scenario? How do we come to such scenario? Now we have come to the situation that front is pointing to max minus 1. Front is pointing to max minus 1. So let us follow the algorithm and let us delete one more element. We call the delete function once again. Is front is equal to null? No. That means we'll go to else part. Step 4. What is happening in step 4? In the variable I just obtain the element q of front. So what is q of front? Q of 4 is 50. So that is being stored in a variable called I, because we have to return it later. Now check, is it the only element? That is front and rear both are pointing to the same element? If that is the case, we'll go to step 6 and set both to null. Why? Because if there is only one element, if you delete that, then circular queue will become empty. In this case, we'll go to step 8. In step 8, we'll check whether front is pointing to max minus 1. So this is true for the first time now. This is true for the first time. What is front index? Front index is 4. What is max minus 1? Max minus 1 is also 4. So 4 is equal to 4. 4 is equal to 4. Condition is true for the first time. When condition is true for the first time, then you have to re-initialize the front pointer and bring it back to the index 0. Now you have to bring it back to the index 0. I think I have not removed this. In the earlier iteration, I had not removed that. Okay, in this scenario, what you have to do, if this is the case, go to step number 9. What we do in step number 9, set the front to 0. What I'll do, instead of here, we will make front point back to 0 again. That means now front is getting advanced. And for completeness, I'll delete this, saying that the element has been deleted successfully from the circular queue. In step number 9, what we do, we simply reset the front back to 0. We have initialized again front back to 0. Then in step number 10, what we do, simply return the deleted element and go to step 13. What is deleted element? 50 is deleted. You return it back to the caller, then go to step 13. What is happening in step 13? We'll simply stop. So all the cases we have seen now for deleting elements, algorithm for deleting elements from the circular queue. Algorithm for deleting elements from the circular queue. Now let us see the program, implementation program. So if something is not clear during the algorithm, so it will be well understood when we discuss the coding part also. Okay. Now let us see the coding part or program to implement the circular queue, that is using array implementation. So the queue size is being considered as 5 here. We are considering queue size as 5, front equal to -1 and rear equal to -1 in the beginning. It indicates that circular queue is empty in the beginning. Here you can go for null also. That is also possible. Now these are the prototypes for different functions what we use. And the main function is same like in case of linear queue. All the options are being displayed. What you want to do, you want to add the element, choice 1. If you want to remove the element, choice 2. If you want to display, choice 3. 4 exit, and default choice and the invalid choice. So they are being given as it is. So if you can see the flow of the course, maximum programs, most of the programs main function is same and the functions are also same, the body of the functions in array implementation and in linked implementation, in circular implementation, most of the part is same. If you understand the logic, only minor changes you have to incorporate. For case 1, you ask the user to enter the element and store it in the number 1, then call the insert function. Now, as per these first 3 lines, the impact I'll show you what happens in the memory. A circular queue is getting declared here with index value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Front and rear both are pointing to -1. Front is pointing to -1. Rear is also pointing to -1. If you consider the same in case of linear queue, I think I need not explain this, but still I'll write it for completeness. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This here we have -1. Front is pointing to -1. Rear is also pointing to -1. So this is what it is in case of linear queue. As we have space here, we can show it. But here in circular queue, we cannot show it. That's why I have written the indexes separately. This is the initialization part. Circular queue is being declared. of size 5 and front is pointing to -1, rear is also pointing to -1. So initialization part is completed now. Let us go to the definitions of the various functions. So insert function is being called for case 1. Similarly for case 2, we call the definition of the delete function, get the deleted element and store it in number 2. Then we'll display it. Like in case 3, we are simply calling the definition of the display function, that is call display function, display all the elements and then come back to the case. So these options will be continuously displayed for the user. Now let us see one function at a time, that is inserting elements onto the circular queue. So what we are checking here is we are checking insert operations onto the circular queue. Our circular queue, I'll try to draw it here. Right. This is the circular queue what we have. The size for that circular queue is given as 5. So index 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And in the initialization part, front is pointing to -1, rear is also pointing to -1. This is what we have in our hand now. Right. Now assume that the elements are as usual what we took for the input in case of algorithms. We want to insert elements called 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, then later 60 to check the full condition also. Now what is the first element that we want to insert? 10. So 10 is being passed as a parameter from the main function. Element has a value 10 now. Now we have seen while inserting we have to check whether circular queue is full. So these were the conditions in the algorithm. What is that? If front is equal to 0 and rear is equal to 4, these two are satisfying at a time, or front is equal to rear plus 1. If any one of these two conditions, either this combined condition or this condition, if any one condition is true, then we say the circular queue is full. In this case, it is not possibility. Why? Because circular queue is empty. Now we will check. Then this is false. Obviously, this is false. We will go for the else part. We will go for the else part. So that means when if is false, immediately next statements will be executed. Next, we have one more condition to be checked here. So what condition we are checking? If front is equal to, right here, what condition we are checking is front is equal to -1. That means if front is equal to -1, what it indicates, the circular queue is totally empty. There are no elements in the circular queue, and we are inserting element for the first time. In that case, what we do, we take front and rear, make them to point to the circular queue. That is, front and rear both are being made to point to index 0. Front is pointing to 0 and rear is also pointing to 0 now. So earlier they were pointing to -1. Now they have been made to point to indexes 0. Front and rear both will point to index 0 now. All right. Front is pointing here and rear is also pointing to 0. So next, go to, okay, only if even this is true, these two statements will not at all execute. Because what is the syntax of if else? If this is false, then only we'll check the else if. Then only we'll go for the else part. So in all these cases, these will not execute. And simply what we do here is we will insert the element in this step. That is the last step. Q of rear equal to element. Q of rear equal to element. So this is what is our Q. What is the name being given for this? I'll just write the name for this. Q is the name. Q of rear, where rear is pointing to index 0. So Q of 0, this statement. Because when this is true, else if will not execute, else will not execute. That is what is syntax of the if else. Then direct will execute this statement. What it says? At the rear index of Q, insert the element. At the rear index of this Q, insert the element. What is that element? 10 has been inserted. So now the control will go back to the caller and assume that you have given choice 1 once again. That means you want to insert one more element. What is the element now? The second element, let us say that you want to insert element 20. What is present in 20 element? Element we have 20. Check, is it possible? Is it the case? Front is equal to 0. This is satisfied here. This is true. Front is equal to 0. But meanwhile, another condition, and means both conditions must be true. This must be true as well as this must be true. Both must be true. Is rear is equal to 4? False. That means this entire thing is false. This entire thing is false. We'll check the next part. Or this is or operator. Either this must be true or this condition must be true. In the or part, what we'll check in the second part is front is equal to rear plus 1. No, this is also false. That means this entire if statement is false. This will be true only when the circular cube is full. Check whether front is equal to minus 1. No, this is also false. Then else if is rear is equal to 4, rear is pointing to 4. If that is the case, what happens? The circular cube will be full. You have to repoint back the front. If rear is equal to 4, what you have to do is then you have to bring back the rear to 0. This we have seen during the theory discussion. This is also false. Rear is not equal to 4. This is also false. That means when everything is false, obviously the else part will be true. Else part, what you have to do? Simply rear, increment it by 1. Rear is pointing to index 0. I'll make a rear to point to the next index. That is rear is equal to rear plus 1. Now rear has been incremented. What is the next step? Next step is in the rear index of Q, simply insert the element. In the rear index of Q, simply insert the element. What is the element? Element 20. So 20 has been successfully inserted. 20 has been successfully inserted into the circular cube. So let us check the full condition. Because let us go on inserting elements and we have to check the full condition also. So what is the next element is 30. Is it satisfying? No. Is it satisfying? No. This is not satisfying. This is not satisfying. Else if is rear is equal to 4? No. What is the rear value? Rear value is 1. Rear is equal to 4? No, it is false. Then else part, what we do? We simply increment the rear by 1. Rear is made to point to index 2 and there we insert the next element. There we insert the next element. Hope you can understand. What I'll do, I'll write the next two elements directly. Here rear is incremented and next element is inserted. Rear is incremented and next element is inserted. So we have arrived at this particular situation. We have arrived at this particular situation now after inserting 5 elements successfully onto the circular cube. After inserting 5 elements successfully onto the circular cube. We have inserted 5 elements successfully. Now, if you want to insert one more element called 60, this is where we get the full condition. You want to insert one more element called 60. Element is 60. Check this condition whether front is equal to 0 and rear is equal to 4. Yes, this is the scenario. In this case, what we do? We will print the statement saying that cube is full and the element cannot be added into the circular cube. Element cannot be added into the circular cube. You can add some more elements when you can add some more elements. We can add some more elements only when you delete some element from the front end. Then only you can add some elements from the then only you can add some more elements to the circular cube. No, it's very difficult. Yes, this is how the insert function works. So parallelly, I will come back again to insert. I will take this same circular cube because it is full now. I cannot show the different operations. So let us go to delete function now. Let us delete some elements for completeness of the. I think before I go to delete display function. Display function is simply a pointer like how we display the array elements. If it is empty, we'll display empty. Else what we do? Take a variable called I, make it to point to front. Until we go to the rear, we go on displaying all the array elements. This is just simply displaying the array elements. There is no complexity involved in the display function. Only complexity is present in insert and delete function. So I'll stress more there. So let us implement the delete function. Let us see how the delete function works. This is the present circular queue what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Index is 0. At index 0, we have front pointing here. At index 4, rear is pointing. And these are the elements 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. This is what is the present scenario. So let us delete some elements so that we can go back again to that insert function. Is front is equal to -1? No. If that is the case, Q is empty. Q is not empty in our case. So what we'll do, we'll simply take the front element in the variable I, just obtain the front element. So what is front element? Front index is 0. What is Q of 0? Q of 0 is 10. So 10 we have taken. So just for completeness, I will erase it, saying that we have deleted that element from the circular queue. Now check, is it the only element what we are deleting? Because if it is only one element in the circular queue, what happens once you delete that single element, entire circular queue will become empty. Then we are setting again front equal to -1 and rear equal to -1, simply return that I. Why? Because if there is only one element, see this is a circular queue, if there is only one element, in this case what happens, front is also pointing to the same element, rear is also pointing to the same element, that is front is equal to rear. If this is the case, if you delete this, what happens, the entire circular queue will become empty. So that's what we are doing it. That is not in this case. Else if front is equal to 4, if front is equal to 4, if front is equal to 4, what we do, we will bring it back to 0, but that is also not the case in this case. What is the else part? Simply else what we do, front equal to front plus 1, then return the value of I to the caller. That means the ultimate else part here is we are simply incrementing the front, because once you delete this element, what you have to do, you have to increment the front. You have to take front and make it to point to the next index. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the index values. We have deleted one element. Okay, so let us call delete once again. Let us delete one more element. Delete function is called front is not equal to -1. That is true. Then obtain the front element. What is present in I now? I has 20, because this is the element which is pointed by the front index. Is front is equal to rear? No, this is also false. Now check one more condition. Else if front is equal to 4? No, front is pointing to 1. That is also false. Then else part what we do? We'll simply increment front and make it to point to next location. Else part, simply take front equal to front plus 1. What I'll do, I'll advance front and make it to point to next location. This has been deleted. Next step is what? Simply return I to the caller. I will be written. What is value in I? I is 20. Now we have arrived at this situation. We have arrived at this situation. What situation we have arrived? We have inserted 5 elements. Q was full and we have deleted 2 elements. So the same scenario I will update it here for explanation purpose. 10 is deleted, 20 is deleted, and front is also enhanced. Right? So where front is pointing to this index. So remember, and now I'm coming back again to the insert function now, just for completeness. We have inserted 5 elements and we have deleted 2 elements by following the delete function, and now we are coming back again to insert function. So let us take the element 60 now. Let us try to insert element 60. Let us try to insert element 60. Now check this condition. If it is linear queue, we cannot insert, but it is circular queue. There are 2 spaces available. We can use this space and we can insert the element. Is front is equal to 0? Is it the case? No. That means we need not check this. Is front is equal to rear plus 1? Yes, this is also not the case. That means this state will not execute now. Earlier it was telling Q is full. Now Q is not full. Why? Because there are 2 spaces available. Check this condition. Is front is equal to -1? No. Next condition. Is rear is equal to 4? Yes, this is true now. Rear is pointing to index 4. Rear is pointing to index 4. If this is the case, if you are still trying to insert the elements, bring back rear to 0. See here. If this is the case, rear is equal to 4. If this is the case, you have to reinitialize rear and make it to point to 0. reinitialize rear and make it to point to index 0, because that is the available space and we are pointing to the available space. When this else if is true, this else will not execute, because that is how the syntax is. Any one will execute, either this will execute or this will execute or this will execute. Now the very next statement is what? Q of rear. In the rear index of Q, store the element. In the rear index of this entire Q, store the element. What is the element? 60. So 60 we are storing it successfully. Right? This is how the elements get inserted and deleted from the circular queue. That is the advantage. We have seen the algorithm and we have also seen the coding part also. With the help of code, how we can insert some more elements. Right? Now what I'll do, let us check some more iterations for completeness. I'll take one more element called 70. Let us insert one more element called 70. Element which we want to insert here is 70. Right? So check the condition whether circular queue is full. It is false. Front is equal to 0, rear is equal to 4. No, it is false. That means if front is equal to -1, this is false. This is also false. Else if rear is equal to 4, this is also false. Because rear is not equal to 4, then else part what we do? We simply increment rear and make it to point next index. That is rear equal to rear plus 1. Rear is equal to rear plus 1. It has been incremented. Now what the next step says? In the rear index of Q, store the element. In the rear index of Q, store the element. Element is 70. Now we have come to this scenario. Now we have come across some scenario. So let us delete, let us try to insert one more element now, 80. When you want to insert 80, check this very first condition. What is that? Is front is equal to 0 and rear is equal to 4? No, these two conditions are not true. Or part, either this must be true or this must be true. Check this condition. Is front is equal to rear plus 1? Yes, it is true. What is front? Front is pointing to index 2. Rear is pointing to index 1. 1 plus 1 is what? 2. Front is 2. Is it equal to 1 plus 1? Yes, it is true. In that case, what we do? Q is full. So always there are possibilities that we can check for overflow and underflow conditions of the circular queues. Similarly, this code what we have seen already. Front is pointing to -1. When front will be pointing to -1, when you go on deleting all the elements, then only we can say that front is pointing to -1. And display function, which is already, it's very similar to displaying all the elements of the array. But still for completeness, quickly I will explain the display function. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So let us say front is pointing here and rear is pointing here. So front is equal to -1. No, it is false. Then the different elements will display. Take a index called I. Take a index called I. A variable called I and make it to point to front index till you reach the rear, till I is reaching to rear, you go on displaying, that is that Q of I. So how output will get displayed here? Q of I. So Q of I is what? 10 will get displayed. Then meanwhile, while checking, you have to check whether this I is pointing to index 4, because if you point to index 4, you have to come back and again make it to point to 0. So this is false. Else part what we do, will simply increment I. Make I to point to next index. I to point to next index. This is very similar to displaying elements of the array. That's it. We are displaying all the elements of the array. Right? So once I is pointing here, check the condition once again. Whether I is not equal to rear, yes, it is true. I is 1, rear is 4. It is true. We will enter into the while loop and display Q of I. What is Q of I? Q of I is 1. Q of 1 is 20. So likewise, we go on displaying all the elements. This is what is the display function for the circular queue. Let me check for the implementation. just try to show the demonstration showing all the operations on the circular queue. Right, so this is the program what we have implemented, what we have seen just now. Okay, just run the program. I'll take the same elements for the completeness, whatever we have discussed till now. Right, so these are the different options what will be displayed to the user. These are the different options which are getting displayed to the user. So choice one, let us insert some element. Choice one, enter the element to be added. I'll give 10. Again, I'll give choice one. One more element, 20. Choice one. One more element, 30. Choice one again. One more element, 40. That means 4 elements I have inserted. Let us display that. Yes, these are the 4 elements of the circular queue, 10, 20, 30 and 40. So let us give choice 1 again. I will insert the element called 50 now. So choice 3, display what are the elements of the circular queue now. The circular queue has these elements 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Right, now I'll try to insert once again. So what is that element? I'll give 60. Can you see the message now? Because the capacity of the circular queue is 5. We cannot save more than 5 elements, and it gives a message saying that queue is full. You cannot insert the elements onto the circular queue. Now we'll go to other options. Let us delete one element. Right? 2. But it says 10 got deleted because 10 is present at the front end of the circular queue. 50 is at the rear end of the circular queue. 10 has been deleted. I will delete one more element. 20 has been deleted. Then let us queue choice 3 now. Display and check. From 10 among 5 elements, we have deleted 2 elements from the circular queue now. So what are the deleted elements? 10 and 20 are the deleted elements now. So 10 and 20 are the deleted elements from the circular queue. Right? When 10 and 20 are deleted from the circular queue, remember now we have option to insert 2 more elements because this is a circular queue. 2 elements have been deleted and two vacancies have been created now. We can store 2 more elements. So let us check that part now. That means when this is the scenario, I will give choice 1 and I will give 60 now. Yes. So let us check. This was earlier scenario. 30, 40, 50 was the earlier scenario. In this scenario, now I am trying to insert one more element called 60. Whether it has been inserted or not. Let us display and check it. Choice 3. As you can see here 2 more space got created. What was the earlier scenario? Earlier scenario was this 30, 40, 50. Then 2 more spaces. Now the present scenario is 30, 40, 50. Then 60 got inserted. One more element we can insert here. So let us give choice 1 again. The element I will give as 70 now. Let us check whether it has been inserted or not. Display, yes, as you can see 70 got inserted. Now in this scenario, can we insert one more element? It is not possible to insert because again the circular queue has become full now. But still I'll give choice 1. Let us check 80. Can it be inserted? No. You cannot insert 80 now because it has been the full queue is full now. Enter. So let us go on removing the elements and check the empty condition now. Remove, yes, 30 got deleted. Remove element 40 got deleted. Again choice 2, 50 got deleted. Again choice 2, 60 got deleted. Once again choice 2, 70 got deleted. Now if you give again choice 2, what it says, queue is empty because there are no elements in the circular queue. This is how the very simple functionality of the working of circular queue. And I give choice 4 will come out of the execution. So what we have seen in today's class is the algorithm to perform deletion out of the circular queue and the program implementation for the circular queue. Program implementation for the circular queue. We have also executed and seen the demonstration. In the next class, I will be discussing about priority queues.